Let me now take this opportunity to invite Dr. Mangesh Teli. Dr. Teli is a professor at the Department of Fibers and Textile Processing Technology, Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. His main research area includes chemical processing of all natural and synthetic fibers, application of nanotechnology and biotechnology in textile, just sharing some few. He has over 36 years of teaching and research experience, successfully guided a number of master's degree and doctorate students, and has over 407 international and national publications to his credit. He has edited a number of books, monographs. Noticeably, he has 3 patents to his credit as well. He is also an advisory committee member of the Baha'i Academy. It is an absolute delight to have you with us as the chairman of this session, sir. Welcome.
At the outset, first of all, let me congratulate all the organizers who have, been sensitive to this issue of tertiary education and dropouts, challenges and opportunities. In fact, this sensitivity really comes only when people at the helm of affairs are dedicated towards towards the looking at the actual fruits of the the education. And if you see the education is not only getting particular literary degree or any this particular discipline get that degree, because at the end of the day, how much a person becomes susanskrit. Once upon a time I used to say this, that if somebody is hungry, so it's natural, it is his prakriti that he takes the bhakri. If somebody is heavy, the other one who is somebody snatches such kind of a bhakri from someone's hand, we call it as vikruti. It's a perverted, though it is not his share, but he picks it up. And there is someone who thinks that the other person also is in need of this, and I should share with him or her, and so he takes half for himself and half for the, and that is called Sanskriti. So education, as the definition goes, is not merely these degrees. At the end of the day, it talks about attitude and personal development. And this MIT college, the way they are talking about, and they presented the paper, and Professor Patre mentioned, I totally agree with this commitment towards science and religion, are addressing both, to be in a harmony. Because if the education is seen in isolation and just as the one which will provide for the physical needs of an individual, but if we disregard the human reality, which is spiritual one, all religions agree that soul and body, and both of these two together have to be fully enlightened, so that the right benefits can be, borne by the society as a whole. Because we are creating these individuals not as a selfish brat, but we are creating the education's very purpose is to serve yourself, to serve your, the nearby people, and at the same time also serve the society. Service to society is the message which has to go to them, and that will become only when the individuals are ethically committed, and which, Dr. Chavan in the earlier, keynote address, he mentioned there has to be a grit, there has to be a passion, there has to be a perseverance. But how can you maintain this perseverance and passion unless and until you are internally driven? And the internal drive comes only when you are understanding that the human reality requires the spiritual quality of trustworthiness, of honesty, of compassion, of the love for society, interconnectedness, the cooperation rather than competition. These are the ethical values. And I totally agree when he mentioned, and I have tried personally these the kind of experiments wherein the fast learner and the slow learner to put together, and both together how they learn. Now coming back to the presentation which may I make, because I also have to maintain this time, and Dr. Venukapalli, he very nicely mentioned that, our education should be more as Bharat centric than being Eurocentric. And he himself also said that the system divides, the mind and body. And that's one of the most important thought. And he said that trustworthiness has to be nurtured. It is only then we will be sensitive. The Baha'i Academy and those who are organizing this, they are, actually, they have taken this trouble and, taken this subject only because they are sensitive to the problems which are actually, some speakers said it is a silent epidemic. And I do agree that that's it. Then Dr. Madhavi Isave, she also said that there is a goal for, the gross, the enrollment ratio has to increase up to 50%. But end of the day, as you say, that unless and until the education becomes holistic, and unless and until we really look at what are the barriers, so that the dropout rate would be greatly decreased. So she narrated various challenges, and it is one of them. She mentioned that there is a need to create the awareness, then the school attitude, the follow-up is missing. And all these challenges, when they are mentioned, immediately in the challenges only, we have the answers to it, that we have to work on these challenges so that the dropout ratio could be decreased. And then then as far as the presentations of the individual students are concerned, on behalf of even organizers, I could tell apologize to the presenters that they had done a wonderful research, and with their very effort to participate in this conference, thinking that this subject is more important, undertaking a small research and coming out with what are the factors which are responsible for dropout and how this dropout rate could be decreased. Their work, is really, really, commendable one. And in general, of course, these are the regular, the reasons which we all know, that the poverty, the people who are in the rural area, they drop out fast because they are also required to work in the farms. Then, of course, some of the institutions have to be blamed, and because they are not enough sensitive, there is a gender discrimination. All these issues are there now, and your research study does indicate that. But at the, of course, when something is to be done of great value, that 1,000-mile, the path, at least the first step is equally important. And Baha'i Academy and all the, the organizing these institutions who have come together, they have considered that this subject is very, very important. And I do agree that, this coming sessions also will, throw more light on how severe this issue is, what are those challenges, and whether the distance education is going to be answered, whether e-education is going to be answered, and so on. So, of course, employability to improve our, financial conditions, or have the better prosperity, that is fine. But just merely having financial capability does not necessarily guarantee in that individual is going to be happy. And that is why some of the countries like Bhutan and all, they have also come out, instead of looking at the Human Development Index, they have come to Human Happiness Index. So friends, this inclusiveness, is very important. And those, as Dr. Mashelkar mentioned, inclusiveness means also you have to include those who are excluded. And in the society where nobody is excluded is really inclusive. So I'm great thankful to the organizers and Dr. Lesan Azadi for giving me an opportunity to chair this session. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.